Alrighty, hello. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Let's see who is here. Mr. Kupo, Yuder, hello. Captain Mal, hello. Ricardo, Xmax, hello. Conin, Shoni, Fede, how's it going? Lucidity, is this where the Merisi content is? It is for today. Traveler, J Reggie, hello, how's it going? Captain Mike, Sunny, Geeko, Randolph, Wappa, Amarid, Ivan, hello. Sinjusti, hello. LFK, Quappa, thanks for the 31. How are you guys doing? Good evening, Sloth. How goes it? Cole, hi. I need to go home. Oh, have a safe trip back home. Drive safely. Let's see, just catching up. Lamp, I got a sunburn for the second time in my life today. Congrats. I hope you're at least wearing sunscreen. Otherwise, I guess maybe need to get some aloe to soothe that a little. Kill switch, hi. Yes, I do not have bizarre. What's that? Carbon R2. I don't have. Package stolen during transit. It's over, guys. Ugh. I have had some packages gone in transit recently. It's annoying. Jabronas, hello. Hello, glitch enjoyer. Hi, Mally. How are you? Fellow El Paraíso Peach enjoyers. Silky, hi. How are you? Juan Tagon, hello. Let's see. He's not wearing anything? Nice. Anything. Show proof. Orin, how you doing, man? Verbal sparring, hello. I love the blue on that board. Me too. It's actually a very, very subtle, very nice. It's like different from, it's not quite a pure cyan or anything. It's like this, teal color. So a bit of blue, bit of green, bit of everything. It's nice in between. What board is that? This is the Aurum from RAE. They are doing this colorway called the Cerulean Blue, and it's kind of like a nice turquoise kind of color. Posted photos pretty recently. Yeah, it's very pretty. Reminds me that we need a Finer Things R2. I hope Finer Things R2 could happen, but I mean, hopefully someone runs it. But it also has some changes. I didn't buy the first one because I didn't like some of the choices for it. All right, so today's build is a highly anticipated build, and I did show these last time. This is the SWG SWG Beige kits. I just have them here because I wanted to try them out. Just kind of reminding myself to try them out. That's why I just have them here on the desk. But you know. Let's talk about the board though. So today's build is going to be the Sintesi. So for those who don't know what Sintesi means, it means synthesis in Italian. It's Sintesi, right? Not Sintesi, Sintesi, right? And not Sintesi, yeah. You know, I remember the last time, I think, not the last time, but the first time I remember the 65 came out, and there was this clip about me being like carbonara, lasagna, arrivederci, italiano, and people were like, ew, cringe. Anyway, so what's kind of special about the Sintesi is that it's a collaboration between Mechlovin Studio, PCB design studio based in Vietnam, and Merisi Works, who is based primarily in Houston, in Texas, here in the US. And you know, you've seen a lot of their designs before, but this one is more of a strict collaboration between the two to design a TKL, you know, layout keyboard that instead of a typical assembly where you have you know, a plate and a PCB, and the plate gets assembled, you know, into the case in different mounting positions, like, you know, mounting types like top mount or gasket mount or whatever. Instead, you only have a PCB, and the PCB is top mounted to the case. So it's mounted directly to the case, and so you basically require a custom PCB for it. And obviously that has to match the dimensions of the case and like where those bolts go. And so it's a top mount PCB only kind of build. So no plates required, which is cool. But it also means that you probably want to use some nice 5-pin PCB mount switches and PCB mount stabilizers, of course, and you know, do that build. So we have a, you know, brand new PCB right here. So the PCB, as you can see, has these different mounting positions. There are 5 across from the top side, and these will take off. These are just for the these are the little mouse bites for them to take off the frame part of the FR4. And then you can see the screws go here, 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 and here. And then on the opposite side, they're not quite across from each other. You'll see that there are slightly offset from, you know, the one across. And then you have one and towards each of the ends, and then 2 kind of right on the inside part of the stabilizer of the spacebar section, and then 1 right here close to the right control for mounting. I'm not sure if these holes also do anything, but we'll find out shortly. I don't think so, but we'll see. And so, plateless indeed. He didn't send you the ISO only PCB? No, I was not sent the ISO only PCB. This will never beat the VL finger gun, but alas, this is the board that actually exists. Did that one ever happen? I actually don't know. I never really saw. Can we compare OG Diceps and GMK today? We could do that. Yeah, we could if you really would like me to. So the board has been built once. The prototype I have here today. So take this away. So you know, Morning Coffee, Merisi Works, built the prototype already once with an MX Black build. I actually don't know what specific specs it has for the, like, you know, modifications on the MX Blacks themselves, but you know, it's been already built once with MX Blacks, and he did tell me that the spacebar stop had some issues, so wanted me to swap this out. So we'll do that. We'll try it out. And then we'll go ahead and do a second build, basically that will be using these lubed and filmed MX Browns. So that's the deal for today. We're basically going to be testing out this MX Black build, building a second build with MX Browns, and so you'll kind of get that comparison for today. So I guess for starters, I guess what I can just go ahead and do. Hi Mason. I've been trying to figure out what switches Gargura uses. Are you able to tell by sound? No, but they're surely MX blocks, lubed and filmed with a spring swap. Surely. So I'm gonna just test this stab as what's indicated to me, and if it doesn't work, then we'll replace it, and then we'll go ahead and test it out, and then kind of go from there. So I'm just gonna grab this GMK spacebar here. So this seems to be working fine, but let me see if maybe this other spacebar. I have a few spacebars here. I have another GMK spacebar here. Morning Coffee said there were issues with this, but I don't see issues yet. So let's try this SWG one. Merisi bars are warped because of the lean. Let me see. Whoop. Is it focusing on the mic stand here? Maybe I'll make the autofocus go away for a sec. Morning Coffee. If you're around, this certainly sounds fine to me, but I don't think this needs replacement. I can try some others. Let me get maybe a PBT bar. Maybe DCS base variation. Oh yeah, that's possible. I might have a. Let's see. I got a CRP over here. Maybe CRP. Let's try CRP. CRP. CRP is also okay. CRP is also okay. What PCB thickness is this? 1.6 millimeters. Let me see. That's all GMK over there. So nothing else quite to test that with. Well, I will leave this space bar, but if I encounter any issues during testing over time, then I'll replace it. Or let's not replace it for now, and I'll replace it right after for, just in case. So maybe it was a DCS only issue, but I'm unsure. I will test it with some DCS later then. Okay, so let's talk about the keyboard here and show it off first. So hello. Okay, there we go. Okay. So I'll just show off the design first. So this is what this one looks like. It's a silver anodized prototype. It has wind keyless blockers, as you can expect. And you have PCB mount switches directly on a nice red FR4 PCB, 1.6 millimeter, I believe. What's kind of unique about this PCB and spacing for the keys in particular, at least from Mechlovin Studio, is that it has the sort of like OTD-esque kind of shorter spacing for between the keys. It's not a huge difference. It's kind of it's rather subtle to tell, but basically it doesn't use the standard like 1U like spacing essentially. But it's PCB mount, and so let's take a look at the side here. Or I guess let's first look at the top here. So on the top side, you first have a pretty, small but delicate chamfer on, around the edges of each area here. So you can kind of see a little chamfer. They're not very highly reflective, I would say. I mean, you can see them in certain angles, but they're not very highly reflective. Have nice sharp cornered blockers. And then, yeah, I think at first glance it looks pretty standard. I can't really tell. I mean, I think once you put the keys on, it's might be more apparent. So I can't quite tell the difference just in person right now, just like this. Now, from the side view, you have a, so you can see there is a pretty, there's a fillet over here for the edges, so nice and soft fillet, so they have nice soft edges. And then you get a little chamfer here for the seam, so you do have an apparent seam. Yes, indeed, it does have different chamfers from the 84, I think. Any OT style dents? Maybe if I just drop it. Just kidding. And so on the back, you have a USB-C port, basically in the standard B sort of configurations, which is going to be in between the F12 and the print screen key. And so there is a nice USB-C port right there. No daughter boards required for this particular case. And then finally at the bottom, we have a still BNIB sort of plastic cover, which we can uncover. So we have a brushed weight in the pretty kind of typical Merisi style, a brushed steel weight with some countersunk screws to boot. And nice. Now please touch it a lot. There. And we have a very cool sort of almost like cybernetic sort of design for the hand that holds these grapes on the Merisi logo that we know. So we have a very fine brush finish for the stainless steel itself, and then here we have the weight engraving blasted, so you can sort of see it in different angles. There's 7 Dragon Balls, Fuego. Yeah. And then you have standard, I think these are the SJS 5302, I forget the exact number, I think it's 5302, correct me if I'm mistaken, but the standard circular bump-ons with a little bevel. And then finally, for the bolts, you have 8, is it 5302 or 3502? It's one of those two. And then you have 8 bolts, 4 on each side to close the case. Right. So pretty nice. Very nice looking. So very clean, very classic, sort of like shelf style TKL. Can I please look at the screws? What's so special about the screws? What do you want to see? Maybe I'll just zoom in here. So there's Sintesi right there. Sorry if it's moving. I already see a scratch. GG, Diego. Yeah, GG. GG. All right. All right. So, well, that's kind of how it looks. So I guess since I don't have to fix this right away, what I was thinking was just putting on some keycaps and trying it out. So let's do that, shall we? So I have these. I wanted to try these SWG keycap sets because they are ABS double shots with very good legend quality, which look like a very competitive alternative to GMK. Ooh, hair. And let's put these on for now. Can you try GMK as well? Yeah, of course. I can try GMK as well. All right, let's try these out first. Actually, wait. Let's put those Tulip keys on, right? I think we have the Tulip add-on here. I put the Tulip add-on inside of the trays here. Oh, here they are. So let's do those as well. These are MX Browns, so no, this current build is with MX Blacks. Built by Mr. Morning Coffee. This was sent built. So we're just trying out the build, just kind of how it is now, and just try it out, and then we're gonna build a second assembly with MX Browns. Let's see here. These trays are way better than GMK. They certainly look nice. Starting to notice some of these keys need some straightening actually. This one, this switch here is a little bit elevated. Wait, wrong key. So one thing to note when you do plateless builds is that when you put these keycaps on, you can sort of tell right away when they're not perfectly flush. Keycap pullers also snag on the switches easily. Oh yeah, when you are on plateless, they do snag on the switches too. Yeah, that is actually true. They do snag fairly easily. Don't go ahead, switch alignment. MC still mad for removing the back plastic. yeah, Morning Coffee did tell me to remove it during the stream, so I even made sure to ask. Okay. Has anyone seen this Chatter Keys Twitch stream? Huh. What's that? Changes key switch sound for every 5,000 words. Huh, interesting. What caps are these? These are SWG Beige. The new kit that's coming to SWG and Bowl keyboards is SWG Beige set. Okay, there we go. No artisan, this can, okay, fine. Jeez, okay. Put an artisan. Something beige. Something beige. Here you go. Got a little tut from Alpha Keycaps. All right. So let's try this out. Give me a sec here. Let's see. Set that typing thingy up. Okay, so I think that should be pretty okay. Okay. All right, so we got this is the Sintesi with MX Blacks. It's not in the build command, so if you type that in, you won't see it. But it has, I'm assuming lubed and filled MX Blacks. Not sure what spring or for films, or lube for that matter. But right now, this is MX. Oh, look at that! This is rubbing. This hold on, give me a sec. This is actually rubbing. Once you put keycaps on, you can actually tell. I'll have to fix that, but that's awfully close. That's awfully close. I'll just do it so that it doesn't rub for the spacebar for now, but I'll be fixing that. So I'll fix it. Non-GMK issue potentially. I don't know yet. I will have to try it out with GMK and see how it goes. So it is possible that SWG is rated for standard spacing, which is 1905 millimeters, right? Is that the right measurement? 1U is I think 19.05 millimeters, I think, if I recall correctly. But he just said PCB is fixed. Oh. Oh, the spacing is fixed on the other PCB. Ah, okay. So it's just this PCB. Ah, okay. Okay. So it could be just the spacing for this particular prototype PCB. Okay, understood. Let's try it out anyway. Let's just hear how it sounds. Okay. I guess I'll just type on it. This is MX Blacks on the Sintesi with pleatless, with SWG Beige. Sounds like a keyboard has now been spammed a total of 69 times. Nice. All right. Here are the mods. I'm gonna hold this. I think, and then this one. So this is the prior build, which was already built with MX Blacks, and so we're just trying it out. Okay, sure. I can bring some GMK, try that out, and then we can do the MX Brown build. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll be right back with some GMK. Some beige is fine, right? You guys are good with beige? Are these 2A blocks or Vince? I think they looked like modern ones, so maybe MX2A. Either MX2A or Hyperglide, I'm not sure. You can ask Morning Coffee about that. Unfortunately, I don't know the specs for the switches. BRB. Okay, so I'm back. I brought this class 100 that has this is classic beige and some black snail Cyrillic. So let's put these on instead. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, okay. Give me 1 sec. Okay, sorry about that. What was that? Finger keycaps like they owe you something. It's just faster, okay? Also, if you do it right, they don't really give me trouble. But I'm just doing it with the keycap puller just in case, because they do snag on the not the keycaps, but the keycap puller sometimes snags on the housing top, you know, like that. Yeah, so you're like, it's so easy to get caught on the housing top. These, oh, forgot this was hot swap. Oh my god, that's gonna be a pain in the butt. It's hot swap. Okay, alright, fine. Maybe it's time to build this anyway. Hot swap things. Alright, class 100 is gonna get disassembled today, I guess. Time to teach your viewers why hot swap sucks. Yeah, so hot swap can suck because if you're using a half plate like this one, so this one has a half plate, or like a, you know, yeah, it's a half plate. The switches, the keycaps come off with the switches, and that can be a bit of an annoyance. Yeah, I think these switches are just gonna have to come off today. Oh, okay, not that one. Hot swap half plate or 3-pin half plate? Pick your poison. Probably 3-pin half plate. I actually think you could. There are ways to do 3-pin half plate with a good amount of structure to the build. Because you can like line up each row with so like one of the build techniques that like I learned back in the day from 001 Anthony, actually, back in the day when he was building a lot, was that you can just you can like fold paper or like cardboard, kind of like index cards, and you can like slot them between the rows, and it'll help with alignment quite a lot. Yeah. So that would be like one way to do it. You can also do like people who like know how to design stuff, what they do is they'll use like a pseudo like plate fork type of thing where you kind of use like, it's like a comb rather, but it basically lines up your switches in place while you're like soldering them, and then it'll at least keep the top and bottom part straight, and then you can just go ahead and do the alignment that way. And then if there's like any like vertical part, like, you know, the bottom of the switch being like this or like this, then you can just kind of press down and reflow accordingly. Yeah, if you can 3D print something, that's the easiest way. That's like definitely the easiest way to go about doing something like that. So laser cut cardboard plate. Yeah, that works too. I mean, that's the same idea as a 3D printed thing, right? Like you just make something that can hold the switches straight, and that's good enough. And then you like cut it and remove it from where it was. So that'll usually be enough. But yeah. Or gotta get those old drop Holy Panda switch rails. Oh, the black plastic rails that they came in. That, I guess you would have to like kind of hack them, right? Because I think they had bottoms to them. So if you just use them like that, it wouldn't really like work, right? I think you would have to do like a little bit of a hack job of those for that to actually work like effectively. Yeah. But, you know, many ways to go about the same problem. I would say aligning 3-pin switches is not as bad as it sounds. It does require, like, you know, some patience, I guess. But it's not like the worst thing in the world, I would say. FR4 snap-off plate was pretty cool. Yeah, so that's exactly that idea. So the FR4 snap-off plate idea that the W1AT had is exactly that. It's basically like a comb type of thing, except it was joined in the middle because that's how they, you know, make in FR4. And you just put like little mouse bites that you can just snap off. That's like another easy way. But yeah, effectively the same idea. But yeah, I mean, if you're choosing between 3-pin and 5-pin, please just pick 5-pin. Like it'll make your life so much easier. So yeah, don't bother doing 3-pin if you can afford not to. It's just a pain in the butt, honestly. Does 3-pin get misaligned or rip out easily? Why would you be ripping them out? No, not really. I mean, if you find solder joints to be easy to rip out, I think you should be more concerned about how hard you're pulling in the first place. I've never ripped out a switch from, like, if you're using like a keycap puller, or even like your fingers using like, let's say like it's like a longer key where you can't, like it's like very stuck or whatever, and you're using like, you know, like your fingers or like something to take out that keycap. I've never ever in my entire like 9 years of building boards ever ripped out like a switch completely from the pads. So if you're ripping out switches, something's wrong. You're probably, you know, using too much force. Yeah. Probably. But you know, okay, this part has a plate, so a lot easier. That's a nice color in the Class 100, subdued red. Yeah, it's I personally think this Class 100. I reviewed it. I think it was like towards the end of last year, right? And frankly, I would say it's one of the best full-size releases I've personally experienced in the past year. I think it's one of the better ones. It's a little costlier than some of the other ones, like the what was that, Intro S100, and like the Seal, and like those. I think it's a little pricier than those, but it has a lot of cool features, and I think it's designed really nicely. It sounded really good. It's felt pretty good too, to be honest. So I think it's one of the best releases for full size people. That, I mean, it still has like that retro aesthetic. I guess you have to kind of like it. So if you don't like it, then kind of you know, too bad, I guess. But yeah. But yeah, it's definitely one of the better full sizes that I've seen in like the past year. Arslock Fossil, oh yeah, Arslock does pretty good designs too. Yeah, Arslock and Van Dusen, they work together on these things, and they do a good job too. They really think it through. So I also appreciate their stuff. They're very good, and they're all for them. I think the big appeal of their designs is that they're all designed and manufactured in the U.S. So like and like, you know, because in the case of Arslock's designs, like Carolina Mech, this is what we're talking about, Carolina Mech designs, all of their designs basically are like fully vetted and like go under direct supervision. Like Van Dusen is the manufacturer, and the manufacturer himself is like invested in delivering like a quality product in this particular space. Like they're actually like, they even make their PCBs themselves. Like Van Dusen's been like learned how to make PCBs for their boards and like made them and like designed them and made them and all like locally. And so like they're pretty invested in all that. So if you want like a, you know, domestic product and that's like fully vetted and tested and like kind of like really taken into consideration in-house, then they definitely did a pretty fantastic job. So that was pretty cool. Does the top of that class 100 light up? Yeah. This part is like a diffuser, and there is lighting right underneath here that diffuses throughout this whole bar, which is pretty cool. There's like pictures. I have pictures of the class 100 if you look onto like my website, like lightningkeywords.com, and if you click on full size, it'll probably be on there. All right, should be good for now. Let me put this away. Okay, I think that should be good. All right, so I'm too lazy to organize these boxes for now. So what I'm just gonna do is put them out here and grab a plastic bag and just put that in the plastic bag. Yeah, I wouldn't say SWG has issues. I wouldn't judge SWG right now because it's the PCB that has some issues. Like even with GMK, there is still some rubbing here. So yeah. Yeah. The keys are still very close. So this will be fixed on the spacing has been fixed on this PCB that I will be doing a build with, but on this one right now, there's still a little bit of rubbing. Let me make sure it's actually off. Okay, there. All right. So is the music? The music's still on right now, right? I think I didn't put my headphones on. Okay. Cool. So let's try it with GMK this time. Okay. Let's try GMK this time. So GMK and MX Blacks on the Sintesi. Let's give it a quick shot. All right, here we go. right. And to answer someone's question, SWG is ABS? Yes, it is. It's full ABS double shots on all the keycaps except for the Tulip ones. The Tulip ones, they what they went for was in order to, so you know, in typical GMK, you expect if you have a third color, right? You would expect to do double shot and then UV printing on top for the third color, or thereafter, or you know, however many colors after that. But in order to prevent doing any pat printing or UV printing, they did basically PBT dye sub. They did a mix of ABS and PBT and dye subbed the additional legends on the PBT because you can do that, right, on the PBT. So they have basically permanent Tulip style, like the Tulip legends on the PBT. And the rest is like ABS double shot for like the black legends, which is pretty cool. So basically it is ABS double shot for everything that they'll be doing, and they'll be using like a PBT ABS blend for like tricks, you know, like special things like the Tulip keys and like things like that, things that require that kind of like additional color or additional effect. So yeah. Okay, so let me go ahead and test the modifiers for these. All right. Oh, I do, yeah. This spacebar, I actually do feel a bit of a, even without the rubbing, a little bit of resistance on the wire. So it does kind of vary. Every spacebar is slightly different. Alright, so there's how it sounds with GMK. Just in the interest of time, I'll be going on with the build, but we can come back to the MX Blacks later on, okay? So, just kind of wanted to show what it's like, okay? Hopefully that was helpful, but let's get a move on and do our MX Brown build as well. I like the SWG sound more than GMK. I think they both sound really nice. GMK, like, I think SWG sound a little bit like a cleaner, like sound. Like SWG had a bit of, I mean, like, or rather, GMK had a bit like, I don't know how to call it. It's like, I don't know. It's like I feel like I hear a little bit more of the switch than the keycap. It's kind of like that. And there is actually a little bit more resistance to the way the keycaps snag on GMK than the way I felt them on SWG. But nonetheless, they both sound pretty clean and nice and clacky. They did design SWG with the idea that people like that sort of like clacky sound signature, and so that's kind of like what they went for. But I would have to go back on the audio and see how they actually compare it, to see if they compare it, like if they're like higher pitch or lower pitch. I couldn't tell right off the bat, but and I don't want to make a conclusion out of a single time of typing on it. So yeah. All right, so let's leave that on that desk for now, and I guess since we're here, let's go ahead and prep. So let's get our building foam piece thingy. Let's get our PCB. I tested the PCB beforehand, so we should be good. And let's see, I'm gonna need, where's my, pliers. So let's take out our little pieces here. You can do it with your hands too, but it's just safer. Get a better grip on it. Those. All right. Let's use the same stabs we have, which are some TX stabs. So I got a bunch of them here. Let's see how many I got here. Okay, so we're gonna need 5 pairs. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna need a 7U. Diego, if you do split back and split right shift, then we can skip 2 stabs. You think about it. If I do that, Morning Coffee will never send me a board again. So I'm not doing that. I will actually be banned from the sales if I do that. So I don't think that's happening. I'm sorry. Okay. And yes, also the PCB, you can't, I mean, you'll just go 1U in the middle. Yeah. With no stab. So yeah, there's also that. I mean, to be, if I were very honest with you, my personal take on this PCB, there's some problems on this PCB. I have feedback for Mechlovin Studio right now. They should just remove regular caps lock. Stepped only. It's the way. If you're actually, you know what? Take out the Win keys too. Just do Win keyless fixed. No full touch caps. Just step only. Yeah. Duh. Psst, come on. Like easy clap, you know? Like OTD mini PCB, yeah, or I mean, well, actually, not even just OTD. I think like some of the old Duck stuff was like that too. There were like for the Duck Poker, the plates were fixed layout too. There were fixed layout plates. You could only do like 60% with a certain bottom row, certain right shift, right? Like that. It's the same as the mini, yeah. But yeah, it's not. It's really a bunch of projects out there that did this back in the day, and you know, as I guess the clamor for universal compatibility became more and more common over the years, like you know, wanting a 60%, like the GH60 project itself is essentially a call for universality and a standard in having a universal layout. with all the compatibility to support people's different preferences. And so the GH60 PCB project, you know, was a whole thing about making a PCB for everyone. So yeah, and same with the Win Keyless .kr stuff, like the B87, the Beface, like those PCBs. That whole series of PCBs also was to kind of allow that. So yeah, I mean, projects over time, they became more universal and more global and all these things. But yeah, there were times, there's a time period where things were just fixed. So yeah. Nice TED Talk. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. This is the end of the stream. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Yeah. No. But yeah, there was a period of time. Okay. Kaze plate was good. Yeah. I think there's a few boards that had that. I think the Perry's boards are also like that. I think the IU also had like one layout only. It was like fixed everything. I think the IU was like that too. There was like no split, no regular caps, Win Keyless only. I remember Perry did that too. I remember a friend who asked me to build an IU. He sent me a plate with it that was custom made because Perry didn't want to make the a universal plate, so he had a custom plate made for it. I remember that. But yeah. But yeah, if I had some feedback right there, easy. Imagine Morning Coffee gets asked to release Sintesi plate files. Who's gonna tell him? So how tough are you? Yeah, where's the plate files for the plateless board? Just send them like a page that redirects in a loop. You're like, it's right there at the lane. You just need to make sure it loads. Keep trying to refresh and it just redirects. No 404. It just keeps redirecting. like those fucking like malware pop-ups. Just release a completely blank DXF? Oh jeez, that's cruel. It's like, dude, I got the file, but I couldn't see anything. What program did you use to export it? I think it's a you problem. You release something that's has nothing in there. What's your issue? Terrible customer service. 1 out of 10. 1 star. Kid Boga Bitcoin ATM scam page. Impossible CAPTCHA. Yeah. Jeez. Cruel. Cruel. Rent an unlimited GB for files, not even for fucking plates, for files. Pay me this amount of money and you'll get a file in 9 months. It's like Q4, guys, Q4. I swear I will release plate files in Q4. Just pay me $50 per item. It'll happen. It'll come. It'll arrive. Exempt. It arrives when it arrives. play files as an SaaS. Yeah. Oh god. Do the MLM at that point. You're like, oh, I sold it to my friend. You gotta buy 25 of them from him. If you buy 25 of them from him, you'll unlock a new tier. And if you unlock the premium tier, then but you have to buy 25. No. Actually, oh, we made a mistake. Clerical error. We missed a 0. It's actually 250. You have to buy 250 to unlock the premium. That's hilarious. Morning coffee's AMG for sale when? When's the multi-pager Instagram story, bro? Red background, black text. Oh my god. It was very unreadable. That is true. Oh god. Is that how pre-order for digital games work? I mean, you know, yeah. In case you're scared that you might get scammed, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. Like, you're like, oh, I'm used to this. I've experienced this before. There were no issues at all that time. And then next thing is like, next thing you know, it's like riddled with problems. To prove you're not a robot, please enter your social security. If you know, you know. Before MC hits go live on the play files download link, he'll get into a bike accident. Oh no. Oh no. What about, where's the gelato machine? It has to be gelato, by the way. Because, you know. Sintesi play files will be finished. I don't have a reliable ETA as of now, but as soon as I do, I'll let everyone know. Yeah. Oh, Christ. Yeah. Meanwhile, I mean, well, not meanwhile, but there's a lot of us in the chat who suffered through this. When will my Moon V2 TKL come back from the war? I still am in disbelief that there's actually Moon V2 TKLs out there, but like only like in fucking Singapore or something like that, and nowhere else. Everyone else just got fucked. I was like, the funny part is, like, you look into the info for it, there's nowhere. There's no info. There's only like, oh yeah, some people got deliveries in Singapore. This is like for Okonomiyaki's Moon V2, and everyone else, like, internationally just got fucked. Crazy. Lube the PCB, Diego. Oh, I don't want to. I want to. I want to protect myself from YouTube comments. Yeah. Oh, I mean, in case you guys don't know the tea there. I think EPP Evan had some YouTube comments to deal with recently. So I ain't lubing any PCBs today or ever, but yeah. Evan got educated? Sheesh. About time. About time this guy got schooled. Sheesh. Wait, Evan lubed the PCB? Wait, a Toper PCB? No. He I think it was it's one of the most recent videos. Just go and look at some of the. I don't remember which video was it. The one where the comments are there. You can read it yourself. But it was something about somebody coming by to talk about who invented lubing PCBs. Fact checked. Yeah. Not even Grok could do that. So. Oh no! I'm glad you realized before it was too late. Or maybe you actually saw, but yeah. That's the tea. Most recent tea, I guess. Do you guys have a good weekend, and or maybe you guys got today off? Maybe not, but I know friends who didn't, so. Gotta say, it's just been so busy coming back from the holidays. Oof. There's a celebrate with picanha. Oh yum! I love picanha. Picanha's so yummy. There's a Colorado keyboard meetup last Saturday. Oh nice. Where in Colorado? That sounds fun. Is the Colorado community big? I actually don't know much about the Colorado community outside of what like a few of the people there tell. Like I think like Jay Ridgey and EPP sometimes will talk about it. but I don't know too much otherwise. Front range. Downsized my collection by 2 in the last few days. Oh, nice. Long weekend for me. Was able to get a run in before it got dark outside. Nice. Sounds good. Sounds like a good time. Today I also just kind of relaxed. I did some work over the weekend, and then today we just went out for brunch at a, I guess it was it Syrian cuisine technically? It was like Mediterranean, but I think it was Syrian and like Syrian, based on like what they had. It was really good. It's pretty good. If you happen to be in New York City at some point, I went to a restaurant called Miriam in the Upper West Side, which serves Mediterranean cuisine, and they're pretty popular for brunch. It was pretty good. I actually got like a regular breakfast that had like eggs any style, like home fries, like the yogurt and like a pita and what is that, like za'atar, labneh, and like basically like kind of like something like similar to like a pico de gallo, but it was pretty good. But somebody else on the table got eggs Benedict, but the eggs Benedict, instead of like on a muffin, or like on a, even I guess muffin for the most part, English muffin, they had it on like latkes, so like potato based. So it was really good, so good, with like some salmon, and was it salmon? I think it was salmon, and obviously the poached egg and hollandaise sauce, but it was really yummy. Went all the way to Upper West Side for brunch. That's commitment. A friend of ours lives close to the area, and we actually meant to check out that place before. So I used to live near that area, and we would go out for like brunch in that area. But this time it was it's a place, one of those places that you kind of want to reserve for brunch. So it was pretty nice. And did that. Walked around, had some coffee. And then played some board games, just relaxed, hung out with friends for a little bit, and then we had to go to dinner. Long weekend for me too. I did absolutely nothing. That sounds fantastic, Boss Quest. Yeah, for this weekend was just like mostly like catching up on chores, and I had some work to do, so I had some work going on Saturday, so some computer work, and then today it was just kind of taking it easy. Wanted to be lazy since I work overtime the next 2 weekends. Okay, that makes sense. Got my hands on the silver Jace, now looking for a silver unicorn. I'm not Johnny Thunder, haha. Oh, I see. Silver Jace, Jane V2C, right? That's what Jace refers to. Huh. Silver, though. That's not common, right? I think. Is it reanodized, or is it like... Is that how it came? It's OG Anno. Oh, cool. Pretty nice. I still only associate it with the black colorway personally, that particular keyboard, but silver is nice. Pretty cool. Must look kind of nice with the high contrast with the CF backplate. Bold of you to assume I'd ever be seen outside of Upper East Side. Upper East Side's nice too, by the way. Just don't go there as much because it's kind of a chore. Like it's a bit of a transfer to get there, but it's not bad. It's not huge, but everyone's nice. Rukia, Evan, Brandon, Luke. Who's Brandon? Not sure who Brandon is. Luke, I assume previously Luke Barron, right? Previously Smith and Rune. Pete from ZMK or Colorado people. Oh, very cool. Very cool. I just finished eating Chick-fil-A. Oh, nice. I haven't had Chick-fil-A in like basically forever. Actually, no, I lie. I did have Chick-fil-A recently. I wasn't a work trip, so it was not very memorable. I was too focused on just feeling less hungry than enjoying Chick-fil-A specifically. So didn't remember until you just mentioned it. Is it one we mentioned, Diego? Oh, I see the FNF ones. Christian has the olive one, and Q has the white, and I think he still has it. Oh, that's pretty cool. That sounds pretty nice, actually. Okay, let's test these staff, I guess. Brandon equals banditry. Ah, okay, got it. Sorry, sometimes getting some of the, you know, actual names, I get them confused sometimes. So excuse me if I do. Banditry, I see. How is LFK selling keyboards in 2026? Good question. I heard it's a whole ordeal in the market. I guess you just gotta give a good enough deal. I forget because the local Discord has both their real names and their handles. Ah, okay. That's fair. That's actually kind of nice. It makes it more nicely connected, right? Like it feels. I think it's nicer when people kind of get past the whole, like, you know, you have a screen name and all that. So that's pretty cool. Very lightly lubed MX Browns. Yeah, okay. Is it possible for you to tell if this is a thin PCB? You can instantly tell. I mean, well, if you've seen enough PCBs, you know just by looking. Yeah. Also, the way it like bends, like, you know, you can kind of tell. But if you want me to measure it, I can. 1.6. Sorry, it's fluctuating because I think the battery's kind of low. But yeah. I'm pressing kind of hard, but yeah. It's like 1.6. It's 1.58 or so, but yeah, it's 1.6. Is this FR4? Yes, this is FR4, I'm pretty sure. If it's not, then maybe someone will correct me. But if I recall correctly, it's FR4, 1.6. Sounds good. What I was hearing was mostly the switch leaves. Flying mentioned OTD spacing in the board description, so I was thinking it would be thin like those old PCBs. Yeah, no, it looks like this is 1.6 though. Yeah. I don't know if there will be offerings for different thicknesses. Well, that could be interesting. But as far as we are concerned, for these PCBs that I have here, they seem to be These seem to be regular thickness. Spacing wise, I do believe it's different from standard. You can kind of appreciate that over here. That said, on this one, you know, there's some fixes that were done between this one and this one. 1.2 playlist sounds awful. Have you tried it, Kupo? What do you try it on? Or are you just saying from like other people's builds and stuff? I have to say I've tried my fair share of thin PCBs just overall, whether it's with or without a plate. You know, and old boards, new boards, you name it. And I'll be honest, I prefer 1.6 just in general. I think just having that extra substance to the PCBs is nicer. Like gives a, I feel like it's just a more like reliable sound. And I guess since everything is sort of like standardized to it, you kind of know what to expect before you go into the build. Whereas for thin PCBs, you kind of have to try it out and see how it goes. Especially with switches that you're already like very used to. So yeah. I do prefer 1.6 in general, but yeah, I mean, I won't knock it that there are nice thin PCB builds out there. That sounds pretty good, but yeah, you kind of have to, you know, just like anything in the hobby, you do want to experiment a little bit with it and see how it goes. It sounds awful, like in sound test. Okay, just like too thin, too dead, perhaps. Oops, pen over here. $1.6mm PCBs, 1.5mm plates, and 4mm switches only. Yeah. Truly the definition of purist, right? So I guess when dealing with plateless builds, one thing to always note, I guess for me as a person who like reviews stuff like this, is fitment of the switches needs to feel like good, right? Like yeah, like for, so if you look very closely at like Cherry 5-pin switches, that little plastic peg has like a thinner part. And so that part kind of, as it compresses, it allows it to be like nice and snug on those 5-pin holes. And some switches have like a thicker 5-pin section, and some switches don't. You know, it's for plateless builds like this, you want to make sure that they're nice and snug. These ones feel really nice and sturdy. They don't really feel like they wobble or rotate in the slot. So it's pretty nice. Cherry spec. I don't really know how some others compare, like Gateron or like Duroc and so on. I think I've had experiences with Gateron where the Gateron 5-pin pegs are they're very thick, so they don't quite fit into like Cherry spec 5-pin holes sometimes. Sometimes that is like kind of right in between, and so they fit both pretty snugly. There have been cases where I've done builds where even Cherry switches don't quite feel snug at all. That can be a problem. Do you double solder in general? What do you mean double solder? Can you explain double solder? Like going back to my initial soldered build? Like soldering once and then being like, oh, I need to like reflow. Fallen, hello. Fallen's alive, yeah, wow, hi. How are you, bud? 1.2mm flex cuts, full foam, and hot swap PC plates. Rough. Doing Gateron plateless makes me want to end my life. It can be rough. Also, Gateron has had variants among their switch lines. I personally found. I found some Gateron switches have like really thick 5-pin, and some Gateron switches not to have that at all, or at least you know, there's some variants there, for sure. But I think in general, on average, they run on the thicker side. But yeah. Like you solder one pin, then melt the solder again while pushing. Oh yeah. So yeah. So what I will do is I will inspect. Like I do the. So yeah, it's definitely better to do one leg at a time for plateless, and then you go back to the second leg after you confirm that the first one's nice and then like, you know, properly seated. But you know, you can definitely, like, if it's like platelets like this, you can definitely inspect sort of like there's a very, very narrow gap, right? So like these cherry switches actually are not, you cannot expect them to be perfectly flush to the PCB, because you know they have these I don't know how to explain this. You know, if you look at the underside, yeah, right here. So this little plastic part here and this little plastic part here, they actually elevate the switch a little bit at that part, and this one's a little bit flatter than that. Right here, like these guys, these corners. So they do elevate the switch very, very slightly. But once you start doing enough builds, you'll notice the spacing between the PCB and the switch being consistent. So you kind of want to look out for that particular spacing as you do your builds. You can look kind of like on like at even like eye level like this, like if that is consistent. Another way is you can check the height and orientation of the stems, of like the very top plane of the stems. You can also kind of identify some you know, some offshoots from there. Yeah, standoffs. Yeah. So you know, you can kind of give it a little quick check that way, and then you will adjust. But I think the real gimme will be when you do when you put keycaps on, they'll really tell you if something's like crooked or like off. So for plateless, it's nice. It's a little easier to tell when you put the keycaps on, because the keycaps will then like actually show some misalignment. Although you know, obviously, you know, you want to use keycaps that are reliably good, I guess, because sometimes the keycaps themselves have some kind of like warping and whatnot. Yeah. So even now, I just kind of go and just double press these, make sure they're nice and flush. Press them from the center, because if you press them too far on one side, like top or bottom, they might kind of move a little bit. So just kind of do that. Make sure the housings are nicely in place. Also, when you're working with once desoldered PCBs, you also can notice some of the variation, because the leftover solder can actually like put a little space between your switches. Not between the switches, but between the switch and the PCB. So also look out for that if you don't have very clean desoldering. So yeah, many ways. Check. Do you feel any vibration when you're typing on the black build? Yes. So I will comment on the typing feel. So on this board, the Sintesi, because it is plateless after all, I do feel there is an amount of give. You definitely feel like if I leave my left hand here just kind of like resting on top of this row, on the same row, and if I like, you know, press normally like this, I do feel some of the vibrations travel to the other side a little bit. Not very strong. It's just like light, but it's there. Yeah, it's there. It's unlike a plated build, so to speak. So yeah. Hypothetically, if the switch is fully seated, does that guarantee no crooked keys? Hypothetically, yes. Every time I see someone fix a crooked key, it looks like they're trying to press the key in even further. It should have a stopping point though. Like I think what happens sometimes is when you're soldering like this, you kind of like basically don't want to like I guess from here, like you can sort of like press a little bit, like lean it one way or the other, like kind of like front or back. So sometimes when you are actually doing that with the, because you know, once you form the joint, right, and you're like re-melting it, reflowing it, not all, like it doesn't melt fully right away, like the joint, so you're kind of like waiting for it to fully melt, but like sometimes that wiggle, that like forward or back wiggle can change the position of the switch very slightly. So you want to make sure you're pressing like down the middle. But yeah, theoretically, yeah, if you make sure it's not crooked on like on the first seating of the switch, it should be straight. And, you know, and also you want to make sure that, you know, it's not like rotating, right? These are very, very snug holes on the PCB, so I don't expect these to have that problem, but there are cases of PCBs where it's not as snug as it should be or can be on that particular switch, and it depends on the switch you're using, right? So yeah, it just varies. Like it's definitely like you just have to try it and see how it goes. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the dullest, where is it? Oh, this is like, if 10 is like rotates a lot, it's very loose, this is like a 2. Yeah, it's very snug. It's very snug right now. So I don't expect these to really move around much. Yeah, at least for these, you know, new switches, they're very, very snug. Maybe if you have already used the switches somewhere else and the 5-pin pegs are compressed once or something, maybe they'll be a little looser actually. Yeah, because after you use it once, you are compressing the plastic just a tiny bit, but it's compressing. All right, I'm gonna turn on this fan. I'm gonna actually switch the mic over. Actually, I'll just leave the mic here, but you should expect some mic noise, so apologies for that. Oh, I meant the vibration. Like a 6, I would say. Not very much. 6.5, 7, 6.5. Yeah, not that much. Not as much for sure. Diego, there's some mic noise. Oh, too bad. Oh. But if it's like bad mic noise, then sorry. 6, 7. Yes, I get it. I get it. Do you want me to just mute the mic? I can do that. I can just mute the mic. About normal for a playlist? Yeah. It's pretty sturdy. Just inhale Rosen, Diego. Surely it's okay. Yeah. I am fully prepared for my interstitial lung disease stage of my life. No, actually no. Please no. No silica, no asbestos, no acute like foreign substance conditions. A little silicosis, never heard. Oh Christ. We don't need that when we have micro. This is true though, actually. I was actually talking to some friends about it, and like we were like, yeah, like, you know, like the current generation is okay. Like we're just kind of like accepting the fact that we have all these like microplastics, but like there's gonna be a future generation, my dudes, suffering from like all kinds of allergies. You know, like, I mean, there are people who are already, but like it's gonna be I feel like it's gonna be way worse down the line. You know? But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see with the passage of time. Well, I bought a film camera from a friend. Oh, nice. Are you gonna get into doing video? Do you do like photography and stuff, like actively? And are you like getting into video now? That's pretty cool. I don't think I could personally get into it myself. I'm not much of a creative in that regard, but I respect the people who do. It's very cool. I'm not gonna lie. It's very tedious. Recording a video might not be like it's a whole art by itself, and then there's a whole art of post-production, and that part is also so tedious. I respect it. People who do it. There comes a time when we heed a certain call. I mean, the older generation had lead poisoning growing up, and they turned out okay. Never mind, they dumb as fuck. Yummy, but it's sweet. It tastes like bubble gum. Yeah. Plastics will be our thing, probably, eh? I think the worst part of, like, plastics or, like, you know, like, polymers like this, you know, kind of like, I was talking about this with some friends who work in the material science sort of industry, and they're talking about, like, PTFE, right? Like, that kind of shit. It's, like, everywhere, right? Like, it truly is everywhere, in all kinds of chemicals and mixtures and all sorts of, like, you know, obviously, like, lubricants and, like, you know, like, all sorts of stuff. Like Teflon, you know? And that stuff is also, like, the worst part of it is, like, you can't, like, really tell if it's, like, it's not, like, there's no, like, telltale sign about it, right? You just have to, like, look into the materials included, and you'll find it listed, and you're like, oh, well, of course, and of course it's useful, but, yeah. Also in people's faces now. That is true. Yeah, it's everywhere. It really is everywhere. Yegor, hello. How's it going? Oh, Mama Hoo, hello. Good to see you guys. Okay, I did a quick first pass at the first pins, and so far so good. So let's do the second pin now. Oh, not recording. Film like analog. Oh, film like analog photography. Oh, cool. Oh, that's nice. I have not done film in a long time. I actually did like, you know, like manual, like analog, back in school for a little bit. When I was in school, like, we had a dark room, so that was actually my first exposure to photography, was black and white photography. You know, like film and doing, like, developing in the dark room. Haven't really done it since then, honestly. So it's been like, for me, it's been like basically 15 years since I last did it. A little less, actually. Yeah, no, yeah, it's close to 15. Over 10 years for sure. We did buy some film. I mean, I bought like disposables before, and stuff like that, but that's just kind of different, right? It's fun. It's fun though. Every so often. Film too expensive? It is expensive. Even with like some of the film lines coming back, it's still pretty expensive. Can I use a universal PCB instead? No, unfortunately not. Well, the problem is even more so past the layout and past the spacing issue. You also have the issue that this is it's a PCB top mount assembly mama hoo hoo. So this specifically is designed for its own custom PCB with its own custom mounting method, which is built into the PCB. So that's actually gonna be why you can't as well. I guess you could do like a bikini plate down the road and make it mostly plateless. Bikini plate down the road and make it mostly plateless. What are we talking about here? Am I talking about something else? I'm like, what plate? Custom PCB with custom mounting? Is it a custom PCB though? Isn't this a custom PCB technically? Epsilon, you're not respecting it the way it should be respected. This is a Mechlovin PCB, bro. It ain't custom. Doom custom. That's where key snap comes into play. I haven't messed around with those actually. PCB snap and key snap, those Nux Rose Geon creations. They're pretty cool conceptually. I just haven't tried them. Traveler learned me about those today. Like told you about those. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I think it's I think they're a cool concept and a very nice, very ingenious workaround. But that said, there have been people who have attempted sort of something similar, right? Like to make a plateless like or like a substitute type of assembly, using like custom parts like that. Definitely not the first, but also pretty cool to see in a more, I guess, reproducible and mass-produced format. Alright. Accidental masterpiece? Yeah. I O-ring mounted a 65 and got publicly shamed. Keg W. Why'd you do that and how did it turn out? Two very separate questions, by the way. Like, why do you do it? Like, what were you looking for and how did it turn out for you? Sorry about the mic moves here. Just trying to get out of the way for a sec. Okay, let's just double check. All right, I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna just test the PCB for a sec. we're good. All right, folks, it's time for the, finally, it's time to open up the case. So let's get to it. So let's see, looks like we got it's M2.5 from what I can tell. So finally, time to open the case. I was randomly wondering if the O-ring worked on the 65, and it just happened to work. It turned out pretty great actually. Clearance between the case and the PCB was perfect for a friction mount. And no, it didn't make contact with the bottom case. Oh, sweet. So it like just held up by the walls of the case is what you're saying, right? It's pretty nice. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Yes, that's pretty sweet. Missing a screw, I think. Okay, so let's go over the internals for a second. So here is the bottom case. The bottom case is a rather thick aluminum bottom case, and we have a double weight. We have a brushed stainless steel weight over here, and an internal brass weight over here, which, based on no bolts here, it's probably attached from this side. So we have I'm assuming it's the brass weight attached here to, to the other side like that. So, you open this up and you'll find the brass weight screws there, but you have a brass weight internally going through on this side. And then in the middle it says Merisi Works, Houston, Texas, as per a lot of the other designs previously. What's the weight of this board built? That's heavy, boy. I shall weigh that too. Remind me if I don't. Okay. All right. Now let's go over top case things. So here is our top case. So top case, we have these M2.5 bolts attaching the PCB to the top piece. So we have the nice and thick top piece, and the PCB directly attached to the top. We have some alignment functioning, sort of like supports at each corner. So they help align the top case with the bottom case. And here our cutout for the USB port. Pretty nice. You think Milmax would work? Potentially. Yeah, potentially. I'm actually not sure how Milmax works out on the just generally like the Mechlovin PCBs, but if it works on other designs, likely that the pitch is similar. How are the mounting points near the spacebar? They're right on the inside part of the stab, right here. It's like pretty much right next to the stabilizer mounting points. But as far as how the spacebar actually feels, it doesn't feel, because it's a plateless build, it doesn't feel stiff. Because there's no plate to tap against, essentially. But yes, be advised, just like that class 100 that I was taking off keycaps from, if you are gonna do any kind of mil-max, do expect your switches to come out as you take off keycaps. Like, that's just, unfortunately, a drawback from using any form of hot swap in a plateless build, because you don't have the plate to basically hold the switches in place. So when you pull keycaps, the switches can come up as well. Oh, looks like we do have 2 screws here on the sides as well. So you have a pretty even mounting. We have 2 screws here as well on the sides that do go through the PCB and also mount to the top piece, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 screws for our PCB top mount. So a fairly even mounting. Six, 7. Yes, I know. DCS Deadbeats? You want me to use Deadbeats? Okay. We could try DCS as well. Okay. That's it, right? So, okay. Might be a little... Oh, the keycaps are getting in the way. Okay. Let me just make sure to take off the tab and the caps lock. And then maybe the page down also gets in the way. Oh no, I don't think so. Okay, cool. All right, so now let's go ahead and put our new build in. So new build fits right there. Now let's start from, maybe let's start from here. Then do the opposite on the inner corner, or inner side rather. Then I'll do the edge corner here. Then I'll do the other inside. Eggy Sando, hello. How are you? Okay, so nice and snug. Just make sure I tighten to the same extent. Okay. Make sure our slot for the USB port is good, clears. And now let's go ahead and put it back together. So putting it back together, We can start maybe from the bottom here. PCB mounting point looks so thin, it actually scares me a little. I don't think you should be scared for it, personally. I don't think you should be scared. It actually takes quite a bit to break a PCB with that kind of force like that. I mean, like, unless you're really putting a lot of strength, I really don't think you should be scared for it. Just from, at least from personal experience, I don't really think it's gonna be that bad. Yeah, I wouldn't be scared about that, honestly. I think the alignment also is pretty like it kind of aligns itself, and so I wouldn't be too worried about that. Yeah, so there's like quality of life improvements overall. I think that make the build assembly pretty simple. Yeah. So. All right, there it is. Wonderful. So how about we go ahead and try the SWG caps first, and maybe we can try DCS Deadbeats, if you guys want to hear that too. Or would you, Diego? You're the #1 channel on Makers and Crafting. Makers and Crafting doesn't get that much traffic, right? Or is it very busy? I actually don't know. You're beating out all the crocheters, knitters, and Lego builders and cross stitchers. Put bottom row first. Okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. This is the bottom row stuff from SWG. So yeah, sure, let's do that. Because people were concerned about the fitment, right? So let's do that. Alt. Pretty close. Yeah, this SWG slightly wide on the tail end here, like on the, I don't know how to call it. What would you call this? Keycap skirt? I don't know what to call it. Maybe it's inclined a little bit more outward, but within the 19.05 spec. Yeah. Look at that. It kind of compresses together. So maybe it is the SWG thing. Maybe they are slightly wide compared to GMK. Actually, can we compare it? Is it visible even? It's so hard to see this. How am I gonna, like, apples to apples compare this thing? It's not even, like, fucking noticeable. I mean, like, maybe, but like, not really. Like, I aligned the stab mounting points and then look at it. Yeah, like, I guess the SWG does have a little, like, more outwardly inclined, like, outwardly, like, you know, like, kind of like, if this is vertical, perfectly vertical, like 0 degrees, I guess it has a bigger angle between the vertical line and the decline axis, or like the decline line, like the angle in between those two is maybe like larger, but it's like so minimal, I can't even tell the difference. It's so hard to see this. Like, I couldn't tell you, buddy. It is. It's like minuscule. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming SWG is rated for standard spacing, which is the case. I mean, like, that's how we test it, right? So the testing bed for that. But I mean, yeah, I guess we can try. Actually, well, actually, how about this? What happens if I put a GMK bar with the SWG bottom row? Like, does it still touch? It actually doesn't. So maybe it is that. Maybe it is, but it's so narrow. You see how narrow that is? It doesn't touch, but it's very, very narrow. So maybe it's all the keycaps together. They're ever so slightly more inclined like this. Like instead of this, they're more like whoop. But I mean, if you put this in a normal normal build, I'm 100% sure you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Yeah. Okay. But so I guess I'll save the SWG for some other time. I think this OTD spacing might just be a little too close for comfort. Just use DCS and sand where the caps where they meet. This wouldn't happen on F1. Yeah, regular switch spacing would not have this issue. 100%. It's just okay. Like it's funny, but OTD spacing has this weirdness to it where I think it's like, I don't know. I wish Flying was here to explain it better because he actually knows the numbers and I don't. But I'm gonna assume it's not quite even. So there's a bit of that. So would DCS work in this case? I don't know. Great question. We can try. Should I get DCS? I can try DCS. I think GMK will be fine. Because GMK, well, let's put the GMK on first, huh? Yeah, GMK is fine. Yeah, GMK is fine. It's like a narrow gap though. It's a narrow gap. Like you can see up close. Narrow. Yeah. Maybe, yeah, but yeah, maybe the spacebar is slightly too long, maybe not. I'm 100% sure this wouldn't be an issue on a regular spacing, but it's just this compressed spacing is definitely tough. Oh, this reminds me of an example from OTD spacing things. So back in the day, there was a keyboard called the E6V2 from Exclusive. Do you guys remember that board? The E6V2 from Exclusive. That one used actually a compressed spacing. And I used GMK on that, and it was like hairline thin gap between things. It was working. It worked fine because they probably tested it with GMK, but it was like super thin. But yeah, it's one of those things where people, like, when you make approximations, it's all about the small differences. Anyway. Okay, we can try, Exclusive might be too old, yeah. We can try, let's try DCS, let's try GMK first, and then we can try DCS afterwards, and we'll maybe just keep it at that, okay? So I'll just transfer these over. Imagine thinking anyone here was in the hobby back in 2018. That's actually true. I feel like there's only like, definitely the numbers have dwindled over time of people active from since you know, back in the day. So I kind of get that feeling. Yeah. Oops. Oh dear. Alpha keycaps are so tight on these guys. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna risk it. I was gonna take off this artisan, but it's like the stems are so tight on those. Should need a keycap holder for it, but I'll do it later. I'll do it in a bit. Let me transfer the other ones. Did you say bat? Oh, Asdar! Hello. Asdar, I'm pretty sure predates me. I'm sure Asdar predates me for sure. Like by a few years, most likely, or more, even longer maybe. Actually, I'm not sure how long Asdar has been in the hobby, but they've been in the hobby for longer than I have. That's for I only know because you know we collect stuff and you recognize names of people who collect other things. So yeah. You summoned me, bro. Started around 2015, I guess. Okay, we're 1 year apart. I started in 2016. So yeah. Yeah, I started in 2016. Late 2016 actually. I started in like closer to the end of the year that year. Like started discovering RMK and Geekhack in like maybe like the fall of 2016, and then actually made an account and stuff at the end of the year. 10 years, geez Louise. Yeah, I know, right? Why haven't I moved on from this hobby, huh? So it's a problem for real. Us unks can't move on from our old hobbies. Do you know Feels Good Music? Yeah, I know that guy. I scammed him. Sold him stuff for a lot of money. Just kidding. I actually didn't. I don't think I've made money on anything. Oh yeah, one time I made money on my holy pandas. Alpacas are about as old now as the 360C was when alpacas came out. Oh, holy shit. Alpacas came out in when? 2020, I assume? 2020 was like when alpacas came out? Something like that, right? Flipping OG fish smell yellowing holy pandas. I don't remember them being yellowed or smelling terrible, but wait. Holy pandas? Holy pandas? No. That you're talking about the wrong thing. Are you talking about kale creams? Yeah, get it right, bro. Come on. Psh. Holy pandas are invert pandas with halo tactile stems. SMH. Got fact checked. The drop ones that came in the cardboard thing? Invert pandas were not sold by drop. Yeah. Invert pandas were not sold by drop. They're sold I remember one of Keyboard's Mech27 himself and some other people selling them. Yeah, Mech27 was the person who ran them. He was the original runner of Invert Pandas. Invert, the whole thing was launched thanks to Mech27. And then they kind of like launched in popularity. Well, actually, at the beginning, they're not that popular. Invert Pandas were not like in high in demand until Holy Pandas became a thing. Holy Pandas became a thing thanks to Quakems. Quakems was the one who coined Holy Pandas by combining the Halo tactile stem samples that he got from Input Club back when they were first being developed. He got samples, like sample switches from Input Club, and he put those stems as a Franken switch modification into the invert linears that he already had, and that's when the Holy Pandas were made for the first time. This is 2017 lore. Like, no one talks about Quakems as much now because he's much more inactive in the scene now, but like Quakems like did a lot for the community back in the day. A lot. He was very well respected. He really like was very passionate about like he taught me a lot about keyboards at the beginning. He was super patient about like explaining like lubing switches and like stabilizers and like different kinds and different things that he discovered and things that he tried, and he was super nice. Super patient, super nice. So yeah. But yeah, that was a while back. Okay. Let's put some guys on here. I missed top class streams, he has such huge hands. Well, he's also super tall. You know how tall Keycaps is? He's like a giant, dude. He's super tall. He might not be like Hoffman-Meister tall, but he's very tall. Oh, hi Ankit. Do you have Ladyfingers captured? Yeah, I think I do. Is he like 6'7"? Ha ha ha, 6'7". 6'7", so funny. I get it, I get it. Top black streams used to be lit. Were you even around back then, Rue? I actually didn't know. Okay. Oh wow, there's a shrug emote with it. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's try this out, shall we? Okay. All right. Okay. Oh. There we go. Okay, that's more in focus. All right, let's try this out, shall we? So we got our... Never mind, too late to redeem. Sorry. We got, this time we have the build in the build command. So exclamation build for that. This MX Browns lubed and filmed. Currently on a plateless build on this Sintesi from Merisi Works and Mechlovin Studio. A collaboration design featuring a plateless and top mount build. So it's PCB only. It's a 1.6 millimeter FR4 PCB. On this, we currently have GMK. I think this is GMK Classic Beige with black Snail Cyrillic alphas, basically from the joint kit that it had. And yeah, let's give it a shot. Is King Nesty still in the hobby? King Nesty, he might be reachable. I mean, like, he's around. I don't think he's active on like our side of the hobby as much. Like he I think he was like based in the EU for a while, like in Germany, I think, and then maybe and he would like do stuff with like Chinese designers and stuff too for a while. But I'm not sure if he's active. I don't think I haven't really heard much about him recently, but yeah. All right, let's try it out. Here you go, MX Browns. Sounds very plateless. It definitely has a very plateless-like characteristic, obviously, because it is. So yeah, it definitely has that like the switches when they're like when you have a plateless build, the switches sound definitely different when compared to when you actually do have a plate. So for those of you who have tried a plateless board, it's that same vibe for sure. But I can tell you a little bit about the typing experience. Like as I said earlier, the typing feel like if you press like this on this side, you will feel a little bit of the vibration on the other side, right? Like you can kind of feel it, traverse the length of the PCB. I would say it's not, I wouldn't call it bouncy. I wouldn't call it, I would say it's not like excessively soft. It's pretty sturdy typing feel. Like when you bottom out, you actually feel some resistance there to the PCB going down. I mean, but apply enough force and you will have some give. Like that's for sure going to be there because the screws are at the edges of the build. So especially if you press in the middle, you'll feel that a lot more, but towards the edges, it's pretty solid feeling. So definitely has a very like top mount characteristic feel, and you will, like most plateless builds, you will have some of that vibration sort of traverse through the case, like through the assembly, and especially towards the middle, you'll find more of this kind of give on the keys, but I would not call it bouncy or like, I wouldn't say really that it's moving much. It definitely isn't the case. So it does have like 12 screws putting all around the case. So it's a pretty even typing feel as far as that's concerned. Definitely a little stiffer towards the edges, as all top mount boards go. Let's try the mods. So here with mods. Agriculture sounds really nice with MX Browns. So there it is. But yeah, pretty nice. Genuinely, like, if you're kind of thinking like, oh, you want classic TKL aesthetics with that characteristic plateless sound and feel to a good extent, this board definitely captures that for sure. Like other thoughts I might have, like how I feel about the spacing thing. I mean, with GMK right now, it looks pretty good. So we can actually, if you want to critique my soldering or alignment, it looks pretty good. This OTD spacing is definitely tight on the bottom row. You can kind of see how narrowly the spacebar is clearing the alt keys, right? It's very, very narrow, right? Like even slightly longer, slightly thicker could make these two keys rub, right? But spacing between the the individual alphas is pretty even. Even on the pipe here, the pipe always has a little bit of give because you have a 1.5 U key with no stabilizing here. So you can always like see a little bit of give here, but that's pretty normal. Also, angle things might be playing a little bit of a role here. Maybe this is a little bit more accurate. Yeah. But everything else looks nice and even. So compared to the other build I had over here, which right now doesn't have any keycaps anymore, but This one might need a few of the keys just like reflowed and pressed back in, but frankly, thank you Frank for the 40 months up. Thank you. But frankly, I think it also might be due to some of these housings also popped off slightly from the keycap pulling. But alas, but some of the spacing issues have been addressed between prototypes. Obviously, this is still you know, in revision and constant supervision from the designers. So you know, it's nothing is currently final, and you know, they will be fixing any issues that come up, I'm sure. But so far on this particular build that we have right here, it's very good. So yeah, so let's show off the board. The last PC top mount was a 21XX, right? How does that compare? So 21XX is, yeah, so 21XX, if I recall, I mean, it's such a big board. I think for the 21XX, I personally felt like this might actually have a bit more give than the 21XX in the middle of the cluster here. But the 21XX felt really nice too. I mean, like, if you told me, like, would you like one over the other in terms of feel, they're both like really good. In terms of but like if I compare like some of the parts where you can actually discern a difference, like especially like right here in the middle, it kind of feels a little softer on this right now. But that's probably because the 21XX had you know, had like, it's very big, and I think the mounting for the PCB was also different. So yeah, might be due to some of the changes in positioning. And yeah, I mean, well, multiple PCBs, that's notwithstanding that, because the second PCB, the F-Row, the Battleship F-Row, the other one, right? That was top mount. So that was different. So that one kind of like doesn't count. You know what I mean? I'm only counting the baseline, the base level one of the 21XX. But you know, the easiest way is to just go back to the VOD and just check what those look like. And I don't have a unit, you know, a 21XX here anymore. I had to return it right away, so can't compare that like apples to apples anymore. Yeah. All right. So I missed a sound test. I'll do it again. Don't worry. I'll do it again shortly. Just buy both, you know, so easy. Yeah, easy. Super cheap too. So here it is, Sintesi. We have some smudges over here from me touching it. But yeah, there it is. So I can do a close-up view of this. Again, get a little bit more stability here. So you have a brushed stainless steel, and then you have this sort of engraved and sandblasted sort of like robotic arm with the grapes floating. Pretty cool. Do you have sale details? No, that's still TBD. There's no timeline yet. There's no sales format yet. So no details yet. TBD. Best left for both for Mechlovin and Merisi to decide. So not yet. No, none of that yet. So yeah. But side profile. So you have a kind of standard shelf wedge. You know, like a shelf design. Nice and thick top case here that goes all the way to the PCB level. We have an R5 bottom row over here showing typing angle. Would you mind confirming that, Morning Coffee, if you're around, Laver? I think it's 8. Yeah, okay, close enough. That's basically 8. 7.78. So close enough. 8 rounds up to 8. So close enough. And yeah, and from the top down view, kind of looks like that. And if you want to look at it from this angle, you know, kind of shows like that, you know. So, and you know, if you plug it in, kind of looks like this. Very pretty. And yeah. So, and then from this view, you know, if I just kind of like leave it like that. Sorry for the smudges on the weight. It's from me touching it. But yeah. Don't forget to actually weigh it. Yes, I can. Actually, let me do that now. Let me bring the scale over, and I'll be right back. Let me bring the scale, and we can weigh it and whatnot. Oh, whoops. Why did that turn off? Oh, okay. Where's that face cam? Yeah. Okay. Bring the geometry disc thingy. Are you talking about a protractor? Like to measure the angle? Yes. Yeah. I think a protractor can kiss my angle side. Geometry joke for stupid people like me. Sorry, I will never make that joke again. Okay, so here's the weight. Zeroed out. And I actually do have a protractor somewhere, but it weighs 7 pounds and 6.9 nice ounces. And in grams, this is 3.372 grams, kilos, I guess, 3.372 kilos. So 3 kilograms and 272 grams, or again, 7 pounds and 6.9 ounces. Fully built. 6'7" and 6'9". Yes, exactly, all of that. But yeah, pretty hefty board. And I believe someone said they missed out on the typing, so we can try that again and start wrapping things up. Oh, because that ass is obtuse. Right. I wish I was high on pot news. Anyway. Okay. Alright. Let's try this again. Okay. So MX Browns on plateless. Have a good night, Rue. Bye-bye. Oh yes, DCS. Yeah, I can do that. So there it is. I think Dynamite Dozo was the person who missed, but I hope they caught it this time. DCS Deadbeats specifically? Okay. I can do that. Okay. Give me a little bit, okay? I'll be right back. I'll bring that set. Okay. Hi. I am back with a guest of honor. Hi, Kiwi. He's rubbing on my DCS keycaps. Hi, Kiwi. Kiwi. Hi. 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 You guys want to see him? It's right there. He's like, so bright. I hate this light already. Okay, well, I was suggested I feed him his favorite. If Inaba would like to, oh no, don't go. Sponsor the stream and our content here, that would be greatly appreciated. You're blinding him, I know. Poor Kiwi. Okay, Kiwi. Okay, have some. Yeah. Yum, 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 yum. Aww. Okay. Kiwi, high five. High five. Come on. Oh, where are you looking? Oh, no, over here. High five. Kiwi, high five me. High five me. High five me. High five. Don't want to. Too busy. Kiwi, high five. High five. High five. Oh. Oh, sorry. You okay? High five. Look at him. High five. Good boy. Other paw. Other paw. You gonna high five? Kiwi? Kiwi. Shake, shake. Okay, fine. Just have it. He's like, I made an effort to show up here. I'm not doing tricks for you today. Yum, 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 yum. He's not having any of this? Yeah. He's just enjoying the snack, though. It's irresistible after all. Kiwi, shake, shake. Kiwi, shake, shake. Shake, shake. Kiwi. Shake, shake. Shake, shake. No? Shake, shake. Hello? No, he's not having any of it. My boy cat will only do high fives if a treat is in hand. Otherwise, he will just, yes, same with him. He will not do tricks unless there is a treat in hand. And even if that's the case, he will only do it if the treat is truly an irresistible one. He is a picky boy. Okay, we're done. Oh, Boomerangaroo with the Prime sub, thank you. Continuing sub for Kiwi, oh, thank you. Okay, Kiwi, we're done. If you want to, he wants to leave, I think. Okay, bye. Thanks for coming. Are you good? Oh, oh, nice jump. Okay, I'll be right back. Sorry. Okay, so people wanted DCS. So, whoa, what the? There we go. Okay, weird. One last thing is that we want a DCS, so let's try out DCS. Here is my keycap holder. Weird comparison, but how did this PCB top mount compare to a 21XX PCB top mount? I will say I cannot give you a very accurate comparison because I don't have the two boards next to each other. Like, I have to run it from memory. So my personal take is that I felt like what would be like my, I kind of feel like I don't know. I still do think this one, like towards the middle here at the alphas, it felt a little bit more, like maybe like not quite softer, but just like kind of like more, like had a little bit more give than the 21XX. But both of them had a good amount of like rigidity to them, to the design overall. I just think I don't know, actually. I can't really tell you like a very good comparison just from memory. It's been a little bit since I tried the 21XX, but I remember the 21XX not being that particularly not like a super soft type of top mount. And neither is this one, actually. This one kind of feels relatively uniform, but I mean a little bit more give in the middle, but just generally speaking pretty sturdy top mount, PCB top mount. Except I think where like the center point where you have the most distance from the rest of the mounting points does feel slightly softer on this one compared to, I think, the 21XX. But you know, generally comfortable and very much like other, like a lot of plateless builds out there. Gives that like plateless vibe to it. But yeah, it's been a minute since I tried the 21XX, so I can't really tell you right now how it compared. I mean, both were nice though, like to type on. Yeah, I did not purchase a 21XX, so I will never know until I guess I have one in hand again. And it's truly difficult to recall the typing feel from memory because I do feel like it's bound to be I guess biased, I guess would be the best word for it, and probably wrong, but like truly no better way to test it than just having the two in person. Alas. Okay. So DCS Deadbeats. So let's see. Kind of refreshing to see this high-end board. Feel like they're having loads of budget stuff recently. I also did, I personally would put this other board that I recently did sort of on the high end. Like at least, you know, I think it was pretty nice. This the RAE Oran. The Bion board that I recently did also felt pretty good. It was top mount, right? That one was also done pretty nicely. I think if you're looking for top mount stuff specifically. Yeah. This enter key gives me so much trouble. My DCS Deadbeats enter key is like the tightest thing in. There we go. Is Merisi running this via novel keys? I don't know. I don't think there's any details announced. So there's nothing fully confirmed. So anything about production, sales format is TBA. Plastic bits. Epsilon, what's up? Well, wait, Epsilon, you were here all along. What's up? Are you going to be checking out the R4 Real Force? Not unless someone sends me one to work with, probably. I'm not buying one, if you're asking me that. And at least for now, I don't know if any people that I know are at the moment, but or if they're sending it to me to do anything too, but no, basically not unless there is work requested. Commissioned from me to do, basically. Yeah. Oh god, it just keeps getting uglier and uglier. Unfortunately, that's how I personally feel about the Real 4s. Like, R1 truly was the best Real 4s in terms of the look, in my opinion. And then, I think the R2 and R3 introduced some neat things, but I don't love the look of them, personally, right? So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna use the ABS spacebars that I ran for Deadbeats called Lifebeats. I called it Lifebeats because I thought it was funny. And, you know, it's like giving life to a dead spacebar, so to speak. So I have an ABS spacebar here. So I'm using that. Yeah. So Deadbeats with an ABS spacebar, okay? Put these away for now. I guess I'll just shove these to the side for now. They're taking up a lot of space. And let's try it out. Okay. And let's put this on for now. I like R1 from top, but the side profile is just not for me. That's fair. It's not for everyone. That's for sure. Yeah. Definitely not for everybody. I realized that music was off the whole time, so I'm sorry. You should have let me know. It's kind of boring without it. Okay. So I guess I need to turn off the music anyway. So I'll turn it off, and let's try. This is DCS with DCS Deadbeats on MX Browns. This is an ABS spacebar, so ABS 7U spacebar. DCS Deadbeats, MX Browns. DCS sounds really good, actually. I actually think I might like DCS a little bit more on plateless than GMK for the Browns, very specifically. Sounds really good. Sounds very, very good. How does it compare to this 500cm in terms of sound profile and feel? Softer in feel for sure because it's plateless, and in sound, I feel like the sound of the 500cm has a bit more resonance to the case. The case sound itself has a good amount of resonance in the 500cm, not in a bad way, but different. But I think the appeal of the 500cm is that it has a little bit of that resonance, so I do like it for that. Just different, yeah. But typing feel, it's going to be softer because right now we have no plate at all. Yeah. Can you try the PVT spacebar? I'm pretty sure my PVT spacebar is pretty fucked. If I can find it, I'll try it. I'm pretty sure my PVT spacebar was fucked from the very beginning, though. That's exactly why I ran Lifebeats. I personally see no point in using the PVT spacebar, but I can do it. Yeah, mine gets stuck at the bottom. My spacebar gets stuck at the bottom. It's like slightly shrunk. So if I press it too hard, it gets stuck. Can't use it. This is exactly why I ran the ABS set, because I knew that my spacebars were not working. So it's a pretty good. It's pretty close in color. It's like maybe slightly warmer on this one, but yeah. But I knew that it wouldn't work. Dice Up Alpha's goated though. Yeah, the set is pretty nice in general. I do wish SP's PVT was just more, I don't know, more carefully done, I suppose. But here we are. All right, let's do the mods for this. Here we go. I really like the arrow keys on this. They sound so nice. Really like the alpha sound signature on DCS. Sounds really nice. I think I'm a big fan of this DCS PBT on plateless and browns, but we kind of knew that DCS and MX Brown sounded nice, but it does sound a bit nicer with plateless, I think. It might sound better with ABS DCS, maybe, yeah. A bit brighter too, right? Because PBT definitely has a bit of a like a lower pitch sort of signature to it. But yeah, it's pretty nice. What do you guys think? Which one was your favorite? I do wish the Swackies ones worked a little better. It is too bad that the spacebar maybe is slightly longer, or like maybe the incline of it is different. It could just be slightly longer, in fact. I mean, yeah, you know what? It is slightly, yeah, it is like, oh my god, it's like the difference is so small. The difference is like, I don't even know how to okay, let me see how it, like footprint wise, the Swacky spacebar is maybe like 0. It's maybe like less, it's like a fraction of a millimeter larger. It's like less than half a mil longer. Like, I don't even know. I mean, I need to take many measurements to actually average this out, because you shouldn't ever trust a single measurement. You should do 3 or 4 or 5 measurements at least to have a larger sample size. But just like from grabbing it like this, it definitely feels like the Swackies one sticks out a little bit more. Maybe like by like, yeah, maybe like half a mil, less than half a mil, half a mil. It's like just barely enough that when my fingers kind of like wraps around the space where I can feel the edge. So it's like, yeah, like half a mil longer. So I think that's why it's like rubbing against the alts on the other ones. So yeah. Diego, how does this compare to my Moon R2? Oh, it's infinitely better because at least I have a fucking keyboard on my desk. Unlike that one that doesn't exist, or apparently only exists like in Singapore or something like that. Apparently, I don't even know. I haven't even seen pictures of set Singaporean Moon VR V2s or whatever. Pissing me off. Oh, it's like ads are hitting, but I've only ever gone broken in browns. They're so crunchy, and what catches the actuator? Is it worth going for stock MX browns? Crispy Senpai, I'm not sure if you can. Oh, okay, I can wait. Wait, I can't type with this disconnected. Ah. But basically, I buy stock MX2A browns and mod them normally. And they're pretty nice to use. I have never really bothered getting broken in cherry switches, TBH. Yeah. Anyway, I think I answered the question in the chat, but yeah, I don't really bother getting broken in cherry switches. And I just buy them stock and mod them. You know, lube, film, spring swap. Lube, film, spring swap for cherry. Yeah. Can you compare this keyword to every keyword since 2019? Godson, hey, do you miss the typing test? Yes, you did. You missed the typing test with GMK, DCS, and then I did MX blocks typing at the very beginning. Yeah. Did the Totoro typing test happen? No, I didn't want to call my neighbor so late, and so I decided not to do it, not to call my neighbor so late. I mean, yeah, I'll give those points back if they haven't been refunded yet. So I'll refund those. I'll take the DCS Deadbeats choice. Just being neighborly. Yeah, I'm just trying to be courteous to my neighbors. Are stock browns way better than the broken in? I don't know. I mean, like, people like broken in browns. So some people might argue that broken in browns are better. I don't get them. I don't get I have except for 2 times that I got broken in switches because they just were offering broken in switches for basically the cost of not so broken in switches. I got broken in switches twice and they're great. I got broken in browns and broken in MX blacks and they're great. But personally, when I purchase switches for myself or for, you know, builds that I just have to plan for showcases and stuff, I buy stock MX2A. I actually have bought, actually the majority of my MX2A switches have been with the factory lube, which it's not great, but it's not like the lube actually impedes the action of the switch. So personally, I don't care. It's aesthetically displeasing to see like a bunch of the factory lube in there, but like if it's not like ruining the slider action, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I just lube over and that's it. I don't bother cleaning it unless it's actually getting into places where it shouldn't, like the slider portion or the center hole, like inside that part, you know, like unless it's getting there, like, you know, basically unless it's like messed up, or actually if it's messed up, I just skip that switch and lube a different one until I run out, and if I run out then I go back and clean some. But yeah, I just get MX2A stock from like Bowl or like Gion or, you know, whoever, Divini Keys. I think Omnitype sold some too recently. I think I got some ones for a client. So yeah, MX2As are great. I love them. I personally say if you're looking for smooth cherry MX switches, MX2A frankly can't go wrong. Unlubed better if you're going to mod them anyway, but if you get the factory lube ones, still you can work with it. I see no issues. People who complain that they're like, oh, you know, factory lube the worst, it looks awful. Yeah, it does. You can still work with them. It's really not that. It's actually zero extra work unless you're forced to actually do stuff with the factory lube. But I haven't really had issues. Yeah. And I think broken in does give you some variability as well, because like some people break in 500K, 300K, 1 million or whatever, you know, like different people do different things. If you do it yourself, maybe you can have a little bit more control over that. But I don't bother. I think the appeal of cherry switches is that they're like decently smooth, and then you just mod them to your liking. I personally don't like. Yeah, I really care for it. I think those like broken in creams were kind of nice, like Kale creams, when they would sell them like broken in, like the cream dream switches or whatever, the white ones that were like pre-broken in sort of. Those were also really nice. But I feel like for cherry, I personally didn't care too much for whatever reason. Yeah. Some people also do like diamond polish, which is pretty nice too. I've tried some. They're pretty good. I think for linears in particular, they're like super nice. But yeah, I don't go the extra mile to pay extra for them myself. And also, it's also because I buy, like, I usually buy more than 100 switches at a time. Like last time I bought MX Browns, I bought like 900 of them. So yeah. I bought some NK creams previously, and they used the new mold. It's perfect to use in stock. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think some of these factories are like refreshing their molds and stuff, so it's pretty good. Okay, it's pretty late, so I think I have to wrap it up here. I got work tomorrow, unfortunately. So, I will wrap things up here for the folks who have to go to work tomorrow. For the folks who are in NA. And yeah, so let's wrap it up. I was gonna do some more other stuff as well. Maybe I was gonna do some giveaway stuff like that. But I think it's just too late for me. So I'll probably wrap it up here. I don't think if there's anybody streaming keyboards tonight, so maybe I'll just pass on the raid to the ducks, and we'll end it here. Do you guys have any other things? Okay, well, I suppose not. So let's do a raid dash ducks. All right. Okay, my friends, thank you once again for stopping by for the Sintesi, Mechlovin, and Merisi Works board build. You should expect more news on these over the course of the year. Don't know when. Soon TM. But it's a project in the works, and I will certainly pass any feedback items to Flying and to Morning Coffee. I personally had a great experience doing this. I do think personally that the 7U spacebar section here, the alt and 7U spacebar, like the distances are very, very narrow, like razor thin narrow. So it's pretty tight in there. But you know, and it does seem to depend on the variability of the spacebars. But other than that, I didn't really have like glaring issues in the build process. And it looks like they're actively working on things, and so they'll be releasing more details on, on the board once they are ready to go. So, but yeah, in the meantime, I will put up some typing test, a typing test video up soon and whatnot. But I'll see you guys on the next one for the Kafka coming pretty soon. Okay? Take it easy and have a good night, friends. Bye-bye.